There are many power abilities in TDX, all with their unique ways to support your defense. Today, I wanted to rank them in a tier list and give you my opinion on what I think of these power abilities. Starting off at the bottom of the C tier, since I think all power-ups are good in some way, I have Striker Rush here. It summons 3 APCs with 800 HP each to catch small HP leaks. One issue you may encounter with them is ram resistance, but since early enemies don't really have that, I don't think it's going to be too bad. It just uses them to catch small leaks. Now we have Health Crate. It's simple. Each crate provides 1000 HP to your base. This is pretty good for tanking small leaks and ensuring you don't die early on. The reason why this is above Striker Rush is because it's way more accessible, since it isn't an event power-up. Quickly entering the B tier, I have Recon Drone up first. As someone who enjoys testing loadouts on new towers, and just testing out gimmicks in general for content, I forget to bring early stealth often. So Recon Drone usually saves me plenty of times from restarting my games. It's just really good for getting rid of early stealth if none of your mates brought it. Next up we have Healing Field. This power up is actually really good if you didn't bring Medic or Shield Tower for some reason. It'll help keep your towers alive for a good bit against bosses with a lot of splash damage, such as MK2+. Right after that is Cryo Blast. This power up helps you add a ton of freeze buildup to some bosses that you're attempting to freeze. It also can freeze an entire crowd of enemies. It's pretty basic, a huge stun across many enemies. The only issue is an event power up, making it hard to obtain. Now we have Airstrike. It's simple, it summons an airstrike to snipe out leaks, or add extra DPS to some enemies, and maybe even take out some supports like Grenadier or Elite Grenadier. You get quite a lot of these, making them quite useful for the majority of the player base. Now we're in the A tier. This is where power-ups will almost always provide value with each use. Starting off is Range Field. The reason why I have this at the bottom of the A tier is mainly because towers in this game already have a ton of range. There are also maybe times where Range Field is actually useless because an obstacle is blocking it. Still, extra range can be super helpful on boss waves if stuff is close to leaking. So it isn't crazy good, but direct stat buffs to towers is usually going to be helpful most of the time. Next up is Punk Buster and SR-71 Strike. Punk Buster has a 15-second stun and deals 8000 damage, but SR-71 Strike does less damage but has a 20-second stun. You're really using these for the stuns, so that's why I have them together, but obviously SR-71 Strike is going to be better. Next is Raptor Storm. This summons a bunch of raptors to fly in and drop bombs on enemies across the map. This provides a total of 210,000 damage, but it's quite an expensive power up. It's good obviously, but the powers I have next are more common and provide more value in my opinion. Now you have A-10 Strike. This calls in 2 A-10s that fly in and fire bullets everywhere. They also fire missiles after firing all their guns, which totals 160,000 damage across the entire map. This power up is really good at shredding a lot of high HP leaks across the map. Plus, I get it more often, so I find it more useful than Raptor Storm. Next is AC-130 Support. This power up summons an AC-130 to fly around the map, doing 3766 DPS for 45 seconds. This totals to nearly 170,000 total damage. The AC-130 fires bullet rounds, deals small splash radius damage rounds, and every short bit, a major explosion. I don't know what they're called or how to explain them, but the wiki says the exact names on its stats. Anyways, this power up is insanely good at cleaning up leaks and providing major boss DPS. The splash coupled with the intense DPS is good enough to basically take out most leaks. It saved me a couple times from dying to a boss wave because of my loadout having mediocre boss DPS. Next up is Moab. This ability is like the nuke ability, but much smaller. In a large radius, it deals 350,000 damage after a short delay. This is good for cleaning up a large cluster of enemies, and also great at adding extra damage to a boss. Fun fact, this ability is the most reliable at skipping MK1. Timed right, the explosion can remove that last bit of HP it has before it heals over 1 million HP back. I ranked it so high because I find a mini nuke to be more useful in time saves. Being able to save time by skipping MK1 combat, or taking out a huge crowd of enemies helps me more than getting rid of leaks like A-10 or AC-130 can do. I'm sure people will disagree with this, but I just end up getting more value from it. We are now in the S tier. These are the best power-ups and will always provide value regardless. First up is Cash Crate. It makes the early game incredibly easy. It's a free starting 3000 cash on most modes. That sets you up for early farms or early golden mobsters, all that. It's really strong. Next is Emergency Crate. It gives you more starting cash, and on top of that, base HP. I'm mostly accounting for the fact it gives more cash. Plus, you can actually use it in Nightmare mode. Next up is Golden Zed. 13,000 DPS in total, and 50,000 HP. This power up is a beast at cleaning up leaks and taking out some early bosses such as wave 20 of Nightmare or wave 30 of Expert. The only issue is they're super hard to get. I can easily make a major mistake though, and then just call on a golden Zed to clean up my mess. It would be much higher if it wasn't a wave 200 exclusive reward. Now we have Drop Pod. This power up summons 3 drop troopers with long range, slow firing laser shots. They each have around 5000 HP and each deal 900 DPS. They walk super slow too, making them incredibly good at cheesing the early game and mid game of most modes. Next up is Nuke. 4 million damage and a huge radius, but it can only be used on bosses. It's super simple, but it ain't the best thing ever since it's pretty niche. I don't use it often, mainly because it's so expensive. But 4 million damage is still 4 million damage, so S tier regardless, because it'll cheese most bosses in this game. Now we have Damage Field. This is incredibly obvious why it's S tier. It provides a damage buff in a large radius, 50% that is. That's the same as John Rage's damage buff, except it lasts 30 whole seconds. That is insanely long. This will help your towers absolutely shred most bosses. And now for the best power ability in the game, it's Uber Field. Every good TDX player already knows Medic's Uber is essential for refractors. Ubering a mobster or golden mobster can also ensure you always get cashback. An example would be MK2 Plus enters Rage and fires his missiles. Everything is stunned during those missiles, so whatever dies gets no cashback. But if you Uber a mobster, you get cashback for such a devastating attack. Now imagine that same ability, but across many towers instantly. You can protect an entire field of refractors instantly. This makes it so you don't have to micro medic Ubers. You can just wait for an insta-kill attack on a boss and just Uber everything to keep it alive. This ability makes managing towers so easily, and if you pair it with Damage Field, this ability becomes even more overpowered. I bet you John's gonna nerf Uber Field by either making it rarer or by making the Uber Field last less than a medic. Because right now it lasts the same amount as a level 2 Uber from a medic. That's just too strong. I just love this ability so much. It really makes cheesing any boss very much possible. Any insta-kill attack just gets completely wasted. That is if you even have Uber Fields and if the mode allows them. Alright, that was every power ability ranked in order. If you guys have any disagreements, feel free to give your own opinion in the comments. I'll be reading a lot of comments under this video, so you can definitely expect a reply or for your comments to be hearted by me. This tier list is again ranked in order, unlike my last tier list, where towers were simply categorized with a letter grade. I tried to make this one more accurate to overall usefulness and strength that each ability can provide you in a real game. Much for watching. This video did take quite a while to make, just not as long as my last tier list, so liking my video, commenting, or even subscribing is very much appreciated. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before the end of 2025, so I'd really appreciate it if you help me reach that goal. Have a nice day.